State champions, yeah. He plays six.
Don't encourage.
Do we have to have one?
It's
He was a little deconstructed before. I'll talk about it in the sports.
Yeah, normal aspect.
I signed myself up for football and play.
Changing topics here. You know that water tower at the Sears? Was that functional?
I don't know because it was always.
Right, I took a Zyrtec. I left the public safety meeting alone just to take a Zyrtec to see if it make a difference. Because you stuck until I get into this room or that room. You can hear it. Obviously, I don't know what it is. I've been 3 years now.
And I didn't reload my mints either.
I got some in my purse.
Okay.
I don't do it any place but here.
No, but I mean, if it's movable, it's circling water, since you're deep down.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh my.
I had to redo this.
Oh, then you found that I tried to say loud.
Those always fall out of this thing. See them?
And I showed him this guy pictures of my guy.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Never ran.
I know when I come in, there's a machine. There you go. I can't. I have to walk around to go into the office. He managed to get up and down the stairs. But I'm doing better. I need
I was thinking it was Corona.
I feel like my throat's so
No.
come on. Get a cough up. Those little weight things that float around in the air.
Trying to get Mike's attention.
I don't know if we're waiting for Tracy.
Light on Tracy.
I think so.
Yeah. Fear.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Showed up at a council meeting and got on the defensive and insulted me or accused me of lying.
Oh, that's my porch, yeah, that's the porch.
That's nice.
But she was accusing the mayor of lying to his face, and he kept his cool as she needed. But anyway, you know, if they ever get rid of that water tower.
Mayor? Mayor? Are we waiting?
I was looking at it when I was down. Yeah. But, you know, they don't have money to buy a new one, and I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Councilwoman Dupree is on her en route, and she's having some problems, so we're holding the meeting for just a couple minutes till she can get here. That's why we're a little behind.
I start church on time.
All right. The DPS, John Kuzu. All right. John, she's going to be here any second.
The chiefs are down there waiting for us.
Oh, Okay, thank you.
Welcoming Matt down there already.
And hey, Chiefs, she'll be here any second. She just called and said she's at Fort and Southfield.
Okay.
Making them walk more stairs.
I think so.
All right, all right.
We got fireworks and
Oh, that's right. We're running into the fireworks now.
yeah, this is the big Detroit
Yes.
fireworks.
Yeah.
Fireworks every year. Couldn't wait.
Last time I went down to the fireworks shows tonight, I learned my lesson after that. I'm doing my whole routine trying to learn you guys. I got some show coming up.
Oh my God.
We're too easy, though.
I know, no, you're not. You guys are a good audience. You're a great audience.
I stole your paper.
I want to take my kids and my babies got one so now.
I got 2 of them. I don't got all of them.
Would you do that?
What side do you want to go to?
Over here? Michelle bought a house, I guess you know
Let that
that.
happen.
Oh, don't know where it is. Bought a house.
It's stuff in there.
Can't tell anymore.
Don't want this.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. That's better.
How you doing?
Okay.
Is it a little rough out there?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll get you before you leave. Don't leave and I'll get you.
That was 6 o'clock.
I'll get you your laptop before you leave.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay.
Welcome to the council meeting for the 24th. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have the minister from the Presbyterian Church, please.
Let us pray. Creator of all that is good, we ask your blessings on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and play. As we come to this time of meeting together, may a spirit of innovation, responsibility, compassion, and understanding descend upon all those that are here. May this time be one that moves the city forward in new and exciting ways, so that all the lives connected to this place may be enriched. Grant the mayor, the council people, and all those that work for the betterment of the city wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they and we speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May they and we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. Energy of life, we give you thanks for all that have contributed to the good of the city of Lincoln Park, and we give thanks for the life of Kermit Prill, who was a former school teacher and was a lifetime member of the Detroit Federation of Musicians. All that he did for this city and the betterment of the community, we give thanks. This we pray in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy, all that we hold good and right and true. May it be so. Amen.
Can we please have a roll call?
Certainly. Councilpersons Bear,
Here.
Dupre,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Salcido,
Here.
Councilman Zor is not here, Tobin,
Here.
and Mayor Higgins.
Here. First thing I'd like to announce, on July 15th, we're going to have a study session. We'll put into a vote next council meeting, but I wanted to give all the council members a heads up. I'm going to do a study session on the 15th at 5 p.m. The Congressman has asked to meet with the city council. He's going on a tour to all the different councils and we're having study sessions, and I agreed to meet. And so July 15th at 5 p.m., and it will be open to the public. So come meet the congressman and hear what we can talk about. Couple of good things have happened and is happening for a little bit going on in Lincoln Park. So we just had garage sale weekend. It was a fabulous weekend. I personally hit 150 garage sales. It was really nice. Got some good stuff. I'm going to remind everybody, though, to please take your garage sale signs down. There's still a lot of them out on the street, and that is the one thing people don't like about garage sale day, so please take the garage sale signs down. And why I'm reminding people, I'm reminding everybody that, 4th of July is coming up. Please keep in mind, if you have firecrackers, there are certain hours that you're supposed to use them in, and please have respect of your neighbors, and if your neighbors have animals, please keep that into mind too. A firecracker scares a dog just as much as it would be a dog. Could be a gun. The animal does not know. He just knows it's a big bang and it scares him. So please keep that in mind. Remind everybody, every Sunday we have farmers market on 4th Street, just past Southfield. Please come out and have a good time. Sunday every 10 to 3. Remind everybody the concerts have begun on Thursday nights. This Sunday we will have Surfs Up on Thursday. Yeah. And lastly, a sad note from the Rotary Club have announced that they had to cancel their engagement this week. But don't worry about it, because this weekend is the Downriver Cruise. So there will be concerts in the park, and there will be cars to look out to drive and see. And it's going to be a wonderful weekend, so come see Downriver Cruise. And with that, we will move on to our agenda. Resolved that the following items be listed under the consent agenda and be approved as presented to the mayor and council. Approve minutes to the regular meeting on June 10th. Approve accounts and claims payable. Solicit bids for paving, stripping. Solicit bids for the 25th District Court doors. Solicit bids for the painting for the DPS building. Solicit bids for security cameras. Approve block party for the 1500 block of Cleveland. And award the bid sewer replacement for 1453 Buckingham.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
What page are you? We're clicking that.
Yeah, 56. Yeah. Be resolved that the Lindsley Snows of 10/33 be hereby appointed to the Community Improvement Commission, the term to expire 5/1 of 2027.
I'll move.
Support.
Call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
You skipped.
The next one up is from the police. The chief wants to come up and...
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Police Department is requesting Mayor and Council to approve the amendment to the user fee schedule to allow for an increase in the costs associated with requests for documents such as police reports, accident reports, digital evidence from a records bureau of the Police Department. There was an addendum attached that shows the previous prices compared to the requested fee increases. The Records Bureau at the Police Department has not updated the costs associated with copying and disseminating paper and digital documents since 2015. An informal survey of costs charged by records offices at other downriver police agents and the Michigan State Police found that the fees we are charging were considerably lower than other departments. There would be no negative impact for the budget if this goes through. It is recommended that Mayor and Council adopt this resolution. For the resolution, whereas Section 209.01 of the City of Lincoln Park Codified Ordinances states council may by resolution from time to time adopt service fees, license, permit, application, and user fee charges for its agencies and department. Said charges to be paid forthwith by the individual or business against whom or which said charges are assessed. Be resolved, the Mayor and Council authorize the amendment of the fee schedule as follows. Police reports will be $15. Supplemental reports will be $1 per report. Digital evidence duplication, $20. That is things such as photographs, video, audio recordings. Discovery subpoena requests will be the same as above prices depending on the type of documents requested. Clearance and background checks will be $20. Firearms license to purchase, the notarization charge will be $10. And a deposit for documents and digital files, we're requesting $10.
I'll move.
Support.
Chief, I'm going to ask, from going from your previous prices to your current prices, it's a bit of a shocking price. I understand that you've looked at other cities and looked at their prices, but going from what we were going to what we have now, what's the justification of jumping that high? Can you give me?
It was $3 since at least 2015. I don't know what it was prior to that. Other agencies are 10, 15, 12. With new technology, brings on new charges, new stuff, discovery, just more paperwork.
Did you price out, and I'm asking for the public, did you price out how much it would actually cost for one of our employees to actually do the job and then have it ready?
That is some of the, like, Freedom of Information. There's a formula for that, computing that. This is more of just records reports, crash reports, requests, where it's just a flat fee. We have, I think it said in there, over the last 6 months, there was 275 requests for records, which people came in to request. They were prepared, and when it was time for them to come pick them up, they never picked them up. So that's the additional reason we're asking for this $10 deposit, just so we're not doing all this work that's going nowhere, just wasting.
Okay, that was my next question, was can we ask for the
Wasting
money
resource and time.
Ask for the money up ahead, so it's not a waste of our time, and they're more likely to pay.
And that would go towards any fees of these.
That's a good thought. We're on the same wavelength. Is there anybody else who has any questions for this?
Through the chair,
Yes.
if I may. I had a long conversation with the chief this afternoon about these fees as well, because I was concerned too. One of the things that the chief that you explained also was that there's a lot of redacting that goes into,
Yes, it's not, you hit a button and you print out a report and say, here you go, it's $15. The time it takes for all the personal information, if it's digital evidence, if there's any sort of stuff that's prohibited, people's faces have to be blurred out, juveniles have to be blurred out. It's not something that, like a click of a mouse, it takes time. Everything's time consuming.
Okay, is there anybody else?
I'm sorry,
Oh, go
if I
ahead.
could continue.
No, go ahead.
Because of the redacting also, you just don't go into the records and get that report right away. So, it's kind of like a two-step. You'd go in, pay your deposit, for the request, and then come back and pick up afterwards. So I'm going to ask that we amend your fee schedule from the deposit being $10 to the $15, because if a report is going to be $15, it almost makes sense that the deposit at least be $15. And then I'm going to ask if we could amend the notary charge from 10 to the 5. When I looked at the cities around us, although a lot of them, we were definitely a lot lower, going to the 15 makes us higher than most. And the notary charge I also noticed was consistently 5. So I would like to stay with the 5, if that's okay. So that would be my request.
I'll second both of those.
Mayor, may I weigh in?
Yes.
Chief, the notary is just to certify the validity of the records, not to notarize signatures of individuals who come to the department. Is that correct?
That is my understanding, sir.
$5 would be a reasonable fee for that. They have no business certifying any individual citizen or visitor to the department's signature, so that's fine. $5 is appropriate there. And I will tell you, Mayor, that the $15 fee is appropriate since the purported revisions in the criminal code came about during the pandemic. There have been more demands on the department for documents that sometimes the prosecutors don't get discovery in time because they're so overburdened with people showing up to get 1 or 2 page crash reports, then coming in trying to fight the tickets on their own. They get involved with free lawyers, and this is long overdue because there's just scant justification for what I consider at some point an abuse of the clerks there in trying to get records out on time. And the fees are justified. If you make that finding in your ordinance, they're fair fees based on the time they present.
And I've checked on the fees around town, other towns, and that these are fair, very fair compared to. We have a young man in the audience who wanted to speak.
Sorry,
Read this one already.
No. Good evening, Councilor Richard Kudrak. I just want to follow up on email. I don't care what the fee for the service is. My concern is that non-refundable deposit. When the chief reports 275 requests were not picked up and were not paid for, that's an awful financial and physical burden on the police department, which is unnecessary. I think the initial deposit should be high enough, whatever number you want to put on it, that if these people do not never come back to pick it up and never pay for their service, that the police department breaks even at the end of the year. Pick a number, any number, but I don't think $10 is low enough. $10 is high enough for the initial deposit. Thank you.
That's why we made the motion to move it up to 15. Does anybody else have anything to say? Okay, then I will call for the vote.
Okay, we're going to vote on the amendment to drop the notary charge to $5 and increase the deposit charge to $15. Okay, councilpersons Tobin,
Yes.
Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute, the amendment was Ross. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ross. Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Councilpersons Bear,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Tobin.
Yes.
Okay, so the amendment passed, and then the original, with the amendment, councilpersons Tobin,
Yes.
Dupre,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Next up will be our DPS Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. What I've got before you is a request for Hennessy Engineering we're looking at a proposal to have them do a study on the retention basin. And the information before is background, City of Lincoln Park has recently experienced issues in the arena that drains directly to the River Drive Junction Chamber. Hennessy Engineers, Inc. and Fishback are proposing to provide services to inspect and evaluate the electrical equipment, supplying panels in the submersible pumps, and examine the causes of the electrical issues. They will analyze the sanitary sewer collection system, the influent pumping stations, and the electrical distribution systems. The city recently secured grant funds through the American Rescue Plan Act, ARP, and we would like to allocate a portion of this ARC fund, which has already been allocated for that, to improve the reliability of the retention basin facility and pumping and electrical distribution system. Financial impact: the total cost of the retention basin study services is not to exceed $89,550 and is covered under the retention basin ARP money, account number 285-000-818-000-WS22. My recommendation is to approve that. The resolution that I've also provided, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council authorize Hennessy Engineers, Inc. and Fishback to proceed with the retention basin study services. Be it further resolved that the retention basin services for $89,555 or $550 are 100% funded under the retention basin ARP money, account number 285-000-818-000-WS22.
I'll move.
Support.
To the chair.
Yes.
Will the current Ecorse Creek Wayne County project play an effect into this study?
Into the study? Negative.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Then I will call for the vote.
Mayor Higgins?
Yes.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
And Tobin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
With that, we'll go to our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few things to report on tonight. I sent an email out last week, so we have made some progress with some of the positions. We have made an offer to a new CDBG director, so she's going through the background phase now. And so once I have final word on that, I can give you more information on that. We've also hired a new code enforcement officer. Our last one left to move out of town, so we will have both of those positions filled here shortly. And then we are hiring currently, we're still recruiting for a building official. We're looking for full-time public service workers, part-time laborers, administrative clerks, and we have started testing for full-time clerical as well. So we have positions open in all of those areas. So if you know anybody who's interested, all the information's on our website, and they can fill out the application there. And then we are actively working with Vibra Hospital, trying to get that location secure. I know there's been some questions on that. So the fire chief's been in constant contact with them, as well as the city attorney. So we are trying to get that location secured. And then Sears demolition is still proceeding, and they are now working with the building department actively and the planner to begin the construction process and kind of move through proceedings for that. So some of the permits are starting to be looked at for the different locations there, so that's exciting. And with that, I will take questions from the mayor and council.
Any questions?
Through the chair, Your Honor.
Yes.
The only question I have is that Vibra Hospital, is it for sale? Or what, is there, what, because were they going to try to do something to it a
I
few
don't
years ago?
believe so. I know they are behind on taxes,
Okay.
water.
Thank you.
Yes.
Earlier in another meeting, I mentioned the complaints received about the tall grass and that throughout the community. I was just wondering, is there, do we have like a master list of vacant homes that have been ticketed, that we've, contractors have gone out and cut the lawns? Is there like a list someplace that we have?
So we do have a listing of all of the vacant properties that are registered. So we can pull that, and then there should be the information in there whether enforcement's been out there for any reason.
Is there a way that ordinance can check on these properties on like a bi-weekly or a monthly basis to make sure that they're being maintained? And if they're not, without having the residents continually every couple of weeks report them, can they just go out and check on them to see if they're maintained? So we can get some kind of a routine going so that they are maintained?
They can, and that's part of, under the new code enforcement plan, that's the
Proactive.
being proactive. Now, we did take a little step back because we did have the other officer leave. So a lot of it right now has been following up on calls and going back and doing the rechecks on those. But as they go through those areas, they should be looking at all of the properties on that street and seeing if there's any violations. And I know that they are doing that to some degree, but with the one officer, we do have Denise in the office. She's gone out and done some road work
I'm just
on
looking
that
for
as well.
answers to tell people, because, you know, they say that they've reported things and, you know, they haven't been taken care of. I've reported things they haven't been taken care of, and I just want to see if we can get a plan going that's a little more efficient.
Right. And if you have addresses, we can look in there and see any of the actions code enforcement has taken.
I'll send you an email with some of the addresses that
Okay.
I've sent in the last few weeks and see if they've been taken care of.
Okay.
I'll drive past again too. I just want the residents to know that all of us on council are very concerned, and we want these things taken care of. And when they contact us, we do contact the right places to get this taken care of, and they have to let us know so we can let them know, and they can also report it to the ordinance officers. And if it's not getting taken care of, please let us know, inform somebody, because when it's not taken care of and it gets just lost and your grass is past the neighbor's grass is past your waist, and all you do is complain about it, but you're not letting anybody know, it just becomes a bigger problem. So, you know, together, the residents and the council and an ordinance, all of us together can get this done, but we can't do it if it's just turned in and nothing happens and you don't let us know it's not getting done until you just let us know when it's that high.
Right, and there is the waiting period, so once the violations.
Right, there's a
or the initial
7 day,
notice is
yeah.
given, there's the 7 day, then they go back and do the
I tell
recheck.
people, if you see that, it's 7 days, and then, things like rain and that puts it off too, so they do get behind, but if it's still not being taken care of, please do your due diligence and let us know.
Right.
So we can follow up on it, so, other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
If you don't mind, Maureen, I'd like to kind of follow up on that a little bit. Not, because what we're asking for is for citizens to help us. We can't have eyes everywhere, and we need the citizens to let us know if there's a problem out there, whether it be tall grass or if it is something else, we need you to let us know. We need you to let us know what's going on. I also am going to put a big plea out tonight, once again, for community activism at another level. I'm going to ask for people to step forward and be on commissions. We have several open on commissions right now. We have a couple of commissions that are coming closely not being able to meet because members are retiring. Members, have served for a long time, and they're wanting to be done. Most of our commissions, you only meet once a month, one night a month. And only usually an hour, 2 hours at the most. And it's just very, very important for the city to move forward, to have these commissions full and to have people going and being active. So I am pleading for the community to please look onto our webpage, see what commissions are out there, and please be active in your community. The only way we can make things better is to do it together. And I've said it before, and I'm saying again, please come be part of us. And with that, I'm going to ask our DPS director to come back up here and give us a report.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. I'm here not to give a department head report, but I'm going to kind of give you a synopsis of all of the construction we have out there in the city. And unfortunately, I spent a little bit of time putting that together, and that report is still on my desk, so I'm going to go from memory here. Last fall, we had a lot of sanitary sewer lining and televising. We also had a water main project. Those are still in process. This year, we've started another water main project, and they just started approximately 3 weeks ago. They're making great effort moving forward. They've installed a water main basically down Fort Park and also down Lafayette. Tomorrow they're going to be starting to pressure test it. Then they're going to chlorinate it. They'll go through what they call a BACT test, and at that point in time, they'll start to connect some of the homes to the new water system. But that's a big project. We have another one that's going to be coming out for bid here shortly, which again is going to tear up more of the city. We've also started another sewer cleaning and lining project, but the big one that's going to, I think, going to create a lot of havoc in just in a certain area. We just awarded Emmons Street and Lincoln Pump Station. I don't know if any of you have seen those two pump stations, but they're built right into the neighborhoods very tightly. What they're going to do is they're going to partially tear apart these buildings and retrofit them and rebuild them. It's going to include putting in new generators, taking out old pumps, putting in new pumps, and they have to have work to do, or working room or elbow room to do this work. It's a 2-year contract. It's a $10,400,000 contract, and the final completion date is August of 2026. So right in that immediate area, as they're demolishing a lot of it, they're going to have the equipment and the elbow room to do so. And then as new product comes in, such as DT coming in with new equipment, our new pumps arrive, the new generator arrives, there's a whole lot of room over there. So we're going to end up having to close down some of the roadways over in that area for deliveries, for installations and stuff like that. But it will be, with that going on and everything else we have going on, we also have the Southfield Wayne County Bridge right there at, I'm going to call it River Drive on Southfield Road. That area has lived through that one for approximately 6 months now. That we anticipate being completed early, we hope. Right now it's slated to be completed November 14th. I think it may be reopened mid-July. Then the 4th Street Bridge, same thing. We're hoping that that is opened up early. That'll help eliminate some of the congestion. But besides everything that I've already told you about, we're still doing sectioning work for concrete. We're doing total road removal, replacement, and bituminous overlays. Tomorrow, they're going to start, I'm going to say, digging out the Russell and the animal shelter parking area. And once they get that dug out, because last week they put in the underground, the catch basins and manholes and stuff like that, they're going to pave that, which will make it a little bit tougher for those that are working and or the ordinance people delivering animals that they may pick up. It's going to be a little bit tougher. We're going to ask them to come in off a CCOT and go through the rear of the properties, which is like a grassed over alley, for probably 3 weeks until we can get this parking lot totally installed, plus cure time. I know that's a very, very fast synopsis of what's going on, but it's going to get worse before it gets better, because we've got also a sidewalk program out there that's going to be starting in July. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few.
Hope I got all the answers for you.
All right. First of all, last year's projects. We're going back and doing some grass seed, doing some other stuff. Can you tell me when about that's all going to be done?
Well, we kind of slowed up on putting in the grass, just because I don't think, in talking to, well, with my experience and talking to others, I don't know if you recall, but about the last 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, we had very, very hot weather. I just couldn't see putting out seed to have it bake in that sun. I don't think that it would have survived. We've got areas that I think maybe the contractor got some bad seed, because we've got about 1.5 blocks, maybe even stretch at 2 blocks, that not too much of that seed had germinated. But I didn't think we could get it installed last week with success. I mean, we could have gotten it installed, but I didn't think germination would have happened.
Okay, do you think there was too much clay put back in? I've had several neighbors ask me about that in their neighborhood. Is that part of the problem?
I don't think so. I think it was bad seed, but Hennessy also had an inspector out on the job, and the contractors were restoration contractors that we have used before. So I would hope that they did a pretty good job, but that can be yet to be determined, because they have a responsibility to get grass.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, one of the projects you didn't mention that we've supported, the 7 roads on the other side of Southfield. Have we gotten plans back from them yet?
I haven't gotten that far yet. So what we have yet to, we're waiting on design, let's call it. There's 4, I'm going to call them city municipal parking lots. We haven't yet seen or received the design for those 4. They also have to go out for bid, because they're CBG money. CBG money requires that they follow the Davis-Bacon Act.
Excuse me, we're having a meeting. Thank you.
And that would have to go out to bid, because they have to follow what they call the Davis-Bacon Act, and then it would be awarded, then installation. The other one is we got a grant for 7 roadways in the DDA area. I haven't yet seen the design for that. That also has to go out for bid because it's of the grant that we received on it. And then we also have a $2.5 million lead service replacement grant that right now, we are out in the neighborhoods, or let's say in the city, we have to go out and we've got addresses that are picked by a computer, by the Eagle. And we have to go out and look at the lead service on the inside of the house, just before the meter. We have to test just outside, or we have to dig a pilot hole just outside of the house, and then we have to dig a pilot hole down by the curb, just to verify in 3 locations, is it lead, or is it copper, or galvanized? And if it's anything but copper, we have the obligation and responsibility to change it, or replace it. And so after we get that one done, then the lead service grant will be going out for bid.
Okay.
And majority of all of this has to be completed by 2026.
Okay, and the last one I'm going to ask, and I don't want to hear, in a couple of weeks. When is the animal shelter going to open?
Right now, the way I see it, and I'm sure, I hope the police chief is not laughing behind my back here. Anyways, I think that what's going to take the longest, I think we're right there to get and Chief, help me out here, get the Michigan State Police to come in and give us occupancy. I haven't yet seen occupancy from the building department, but at our meeting, I think it was last Thursday, we're right there. And they've given us a schedule, and the last item to be installed would be the 6-foot perimeter fence, which is scheduled to be installed next Thursday.
Okay.
But the big item is going to be this concrete parking lot, roadway and parking lot, just because it takes time to install it, and you've got to wait for cure time before they can drive on it. And then once that happens, they'll do the other half of the parking lot. And eventually, we've got to get rid of the old animal shelter, and we're still waiting on DTE to relocate 2 light poles from in the middle of that parking lot into the impound lot, which will then shine for both the impound lot and also the animal shelter parking lot.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any questions?
Through the chair?
Yes.
If I could, just real quick, John, thank you for all that information.
Were you able to write it all down so that I can repeat it?
Right here. The notice that you gave us that went to the residents in the area of the Lincoln Pump Station, were these mailed?
Lincoln and Emmons, I know they were hand delivered.
Nice, thank you.
And there's one for each one of those pump stations, because that will create a lot of devastation or congestion in those areas.
Right, but I see too that it says that the garbage would not be interrupted or mail delivery would not be interrupted.
That is correct.
Okay, very nice, thank you.
To the chair?
Yes.
I just have 2 questions. For the lead service line replacement, would you mind going over what the homeowner's responsibilities are when they get the letter? Because I know often their first response is, oh my God, this is going to cost me money. And 2, for the Lincoln and Emmons pump house traffic closure, is this going to be just solid close for however long the project is, or will there be intermittent traffic closures?
My idea on that is I think it's got to be intermittent, because we don't want to eliminate parking if we don't have to. If we've got a stockpile, manhole covers or electrical transformers or pumps or something like that, then we would need that storage area, let's call it. But if we don't have anything, no, I wouldn't close it down. Then going back to the letter, I'm not sure what letter you're referring to.
No, the lead service replacement line. When homeowners receive a notice that their house has been one of the ones picked to have the lead service lines replaced, they get a form in the mail saying that, you know, they need to sign it, return it to the city hall by such and such a date.
Let me kind of clarify that, because I thought maybe you're talking about the lead service or the water service line and the sewer service line.
No,
Right?
the lead service replacement project.
The lead service replacement, we have what used to be 20 years, the city has, to replace all lead services. That has changed. EPA has come in and said, oh, by the way, rather than 20 years, you have to do it in 10 years now. We've got over 4,000 of these.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. But what happens is, and I'm going to use the water main as an example, when we go through and do the installation of the water main, that's the time that we will go house by house by house, and we will hand them a piece of paper. And all that's asking is, we would like to get in and look, do you have a lead service or a copper? And if you have a lead service, in all reality, we could probably dig a pothole out front to verify that, but what we need time, if we're going to replace your lead service with a new copper service, that's at zero cost to the homeowner. It's the city's financial responsibility. But we have to be able to get in to run a new lead service from our new water main into your home and connect it to your water meter.
You said lead service, was that, did you mean to say copper?
Copper, yes.
Okay. All right, I just wanted the public to be aware that it, you know, it was zero cost
To replace your lead service with a copper, we have to be able to get in to our meter and connect the new copper into the city's meter.
Yeah.
And that is probably about 3 hours for the whole process, but actually in your house, connecting it to the water meter is probably about a half hour.
Okay, and please thank all of your supervisors and workers underneath you, from everyone up here on council, for the great job they do with all of the pressure that they are under.
As the city manager's already made a statement, the mayor and council approved hiring additional water people to do some valve turning and leak detection, and unfortunately we haven't had any luck so far finding those people. Then the other thing we also were going to try to do is go through the high school and see if we could get some students to come in, like maybe 4 or 6 of them, to help us with painting hydrants. And the problem that the school ran into, and I never thought about this, there are 18-year-olds, they don't have driver's license yet.
What?
They don't have driver's license.
It's true.
And I would have never thought of that, because when I was a younger person, we died to get our driver's license. But evidently, that's not the case now.
Yeah.
So we haven't found any of those students either. So it's not going real well on that avenue.
Through the chair, Your Honor. Yes. Just a comment and a question, John. Thanks for your report. I preach patience for everybody out there. There's construction everywhere, as we know. So wherever you're trying to go, there's construction. So just be patient, because I've been traveling a lot lately, and you just can't get around it. But my question is to you. It's not related to your project and your report, but on Buckingham and Fort Street in the median and London in the median, there's 2 branches hanging down. I know with the Del River Cruise coming this weekend, who's responsible they're just dangling, they're not totally down.
And where was that?
Buckingham and Fort Street and London and Fort Street.
Well, Buckingham and London, the city would have that responsibility.
In the median.
If it's, let's say, 4th Street median, it should be, in that case, it'd be MDOT. But yet, MDOT contracts everything out through Wayne County.
Okay, and they're not big branches, but they're just enough to look bad, so.
Right.
We'd have to get hold of Wayne County then. All right, thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I have had some complaints, John, about some street flooding, road flooding, particularly on Mayflower. And I understand that there were some workers out there today. And do we know what's going on over there?
I believe that they found a blockage,
Okay.
and they've cleared it. But now that you've brought that up, let's go back to Fort Park and Lafayette. With the rain that is predicted tonight and tomorrow morning, undoubtedly there will be flooding on those 2 roadways. And the reason for that is the contractors are obligated and have the responsibility of putting in what they call filter fabric, so that you don't get sedimentation washing into the catch basins. And what that is, it's a real fine filter fabric. I mean, it's not a screen, And it takes a while for that to drain off, for like a rain event. And I know that we'll get a bazillion calls about the streets flooded. But what I don't want my people to do, because then we take on the responsibility, is pull that filter fabric off of those catch basins. That is their eagle responsibility.
Is that a new requirement?
That's been around, I've been in the industry, I don't want to tell you how long, but it's been there probably 40 years, 50 years. And when I was in a different community, I had that obligation to inspect all of that. And now Wayne County will come in and do that. And the unfortunate part is the project will be hit with a penalty if our contractors do not do it. And it's our consulting engineer who has the obligation to make sure that it's done.
Anybody have any other questions for John? We have a gentleman in the back.
Yeah, I live over here on Dix on Arlington, and when it rains real hard, the street, I'm worried, is gonna cave in because...
Could you step up to the back?
Hey, could you come up to the podium so I can hear you?
I went up to the road commission too, is when it rains real hard, the road, where the cracks are in the road, it bubbles up like the water's going down and air's coming up, and it's bubbling up. They came out and checked. They said, I don't know, but I'm very concerned about that, because I go out there all the time and clear the sewers from the leaves, by the sewers. But Arlington Avenue and Southfield, between Dix and I think it's Jerome, the road is so horrible. I got a Ford truck, and it broke both of my springs in my truck. I had to go get new springs. The roads, they just did Horger. Hopefully, they're going to do our street next, because the street's bad. But I'm very concerned about when it goes up, the water will be over the curb, up to the sidewalk. But I'll sit there and go out there, and I see bubbles coming up from the ground. So I don't know, it seems like water's going down and just pushing the air up. So maybe they may have to look into that.
You got an address?
I live at 1839 Arlington.
And is it approximately in front of your home or a home?
It's all down that street, really down that street.
What was it,
1839.
Arlington?
Okay, thank you, sir. I believe our reporter had a question.
Sue Sacheta, Downriver Sunday Times. As you all know, my son works for your Department of Public Works, and John just mentioned that no one has applied for jobs. Well, there's a reason for that. The link doesn't send anything through to the HR department. My son just texted me right now that he's had a bunch of people trying to apply for jobs with your Department of Public Works, and nothing gets through. So maybe you need an IT person or someone to troubleshoot that, because my son's trying to get people to apply for these jobs, and they're telling him that the system does not work.
We will have our people check it first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for John? Okay, then we will move on to the mayor, to the citizens' request.
Ask Mayor and Council Richard Kudrak, which representative is going to be here the 15th? Is that Thanadar?
Yes. Cherie.
A week and a half ago, I went to a concert at the band shell. Went to a couple last year, didn't like their music. I don't care how old I am, I was raised on rock and roll. So I enjoyed myself a lot. And I was just making some notes. It's a big park, it's a beautiful park. And I said, the first thing is, if you're sitting too close to loud music, you got lots of room to move back. If you're sitting downwind of somebody who's smoking a cigar, a cigarette, or something else, you can always move somewhere else. You've got room to go. One of the things I really enjoyed watching around, kids just running all over the place. A safe place for young kids to just go crazy. It was heartening. About 20 feet in front of me, there was a 5-year-old girl. She had to have more fun than anybody else at that concert. For the entire 2 hours of that concert, she was either running or dancing, or both. She just going, and going. And I said, young kids don't have a lot of good places to go out and be a kid. And those concerts were wonderful. That park is a fabulous venue. One of the things I really enjoyed, me and everybody else, by the way, really enjoyed about that venue is there's a bathroom. We don't have to go to a porta potty. That was absolutely wonderful. And one thing I noticed, I did not notice a police presence walking around. They may have been hiding somewhere, but they weren't patrolling. Now, if the police chief was having problems with disruptive behavior, he would have had officers walking around patrolling. So I'm assuming that you've had no problems at all at those concerts, because he would have sent people there to take care of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to talk to this body?
Good evening, council members, the new city manager, Mayor Mike. I wanted to thank you first thing that it's good to see the city implementing and getting new water mains and a lot of the work going on in this city. I know it's not an easy task, but it was brought up this evening by John and Mayor, and I had spoke to Maureen. I came to the council and discussed before about the water installation last August, and there was a lot of problems that occurred during the installation, and unfortunately it ended up at my residence to where it had to be dug up, the whole front easement 3 times. The couplings weren't right. Hennessy came by and ordered them to do it right. Found out they didn't put the gravel in. They had to redig it, leaked again. 3 times they had to redig the whole front easement. And each time, Inspector Hennessy told the folks, don't put clay in there. So now we're having an issue with the second phase of it. The installation has been done. There's been no leakings and everything. But some of the problems that occurred with the company that Hennessy hired was they didn't speak English. And so some of the communication was going wrong with Hennessy inspecting it and directing them what to do. They just wouldn't do it. Then the company was sold in the middle of the contract, knowing all the problems that were going to be left over, obviously. So, I mean, in the future, when you guys, Hennessy contracts people, the first thing I'd ask is, are they legal immigrants to be able to work in this country? Because you were having problems with communication with them, and I'm the kind of guy, I've been around here 35 years, we really don't want to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Well, anyway, the phase 2 portion, I did try to contact Miss Lisa, city manager, 3 weeks ago, and I didn't hear nothing back. I did get a message today on my voicemail, but we didn't get a chance to talk. I was trying to find out when the installation of the landscape in the front yard was going to be completed. And I asked the mayor, he didn't really know. Maureen contacted me and said that they started on your block and they're working your way up to your house. Well, that wasn't the case. So there might have been some miscommunication there. When coincidentally, I was at the Park Restaurant, I seen John. I told him that the landscape and the seating and everything, it's not taken. They didn't withdraw the clay that's all in there. Even though, Mayor, you reminded John a couple times, Maureen, you reminded him a couple times at a council meeting, but the second phase, they went ahead and just put the grass seed in there with maybe this much topsoil on top of all clay. I have pictures to show if you're interested on how that went. Now, on the installation, they did bust up some of the street squares and the curbs and everything like that, installing the water mains. He explained that to expect some damages, but it would be repaired after. And it hasn't been. Now that they tried to put the new grass seed, phase 2 of the landscape, they busted up the new cement that the water main people put in. So the second portion started destroying the first person's repair, and you had said that it was going to be repaired and addressed. So I'm kind of wanting to maybe get a straight answer when you're going to be able to dig the clay out of my yard at least a foot deep and do the job right, because it's already almost the 4th of July. So, thank you for your time. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Thank you, Mayor and Maureen.
Mayor and Council, if I could kind of set the record straight on some of this stuff. Number one, Hennessy did not hire the contractor. This Mayor and Council did. It is predicated on the low red bid. Number two, the contractor who was hired, unfortunately, sold his company after he entered this contract. And I don't know if, because we have legal counsel back there, I don't know if we could have prohibited that. But a company out of Texas came in and bought the company that it was awarded to. And as far as our working staff, we did have issues. They brought in a speaking, I'm going to call him superintendent. We proceeded to get the work completed, and I think that we did a relatively good job. Number three, or number whatever it is now, our roadways are not brand new. I don't know if anybody's driven our roadways, but our roadways are in very rough shape. And what I found in previous work experience is you have to give those contractors the opportunity to go in and do the work. If our road system can't handle a legal load, I cannot, or we cannot, or the city cannot require that contractor to put in a brand new road. Because they have to have the means to go in and do the installation of the work that they contracted. Does anybody else have any questions?
Oh, the second phase of it.
Please come up here so that the audience can hear you.
I'm going to, wait. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you, that you have a sidebar over on the side, because I don't think this is for everybody. I think this is personal at this point, and I think should be done between the two of you. And if you would like me to sit in the meeting with you, I will gladly do that. That's not a problem. Okay, if you just hang around after the meeting, me and John will go in the blue room and talk real quick. You got time, John? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Does anybody else like to talk to the council?
Yes, my name's Kevin. I live over here on Arlington Ave. I don't know, I've got police reports, everything. The people that live next door to me, I'm not racist, but they're Mexicans, and there's at least 15 people living in a 2-bedroom home. There's 7 or 8 kids and a whole bunch of adults living in this house. And I go to cut my grass even, they'll be sleeping in the van on the side of the house. I got pictures of it. They're on my grass. They say 1 foot of my grass is theirs. Police, I've called police about it. They told them, I don't care if 2 feet of that. We don't do that in Lincoln Park. You can't just drive on someone's grass like that. And nothing's being done, nothing. Their trash can, both sides, their trash cans split all the way down the side. Every morning I gotta go out and pick up the garbage off my front of my house, on the side of the house. I got pictures of it all. And there ain't, police come to that house all the time. They got in fights, and they had to taser one of the guys out in front of the house. The house is very well, and they're doing, it's nothing but a crack house.
Okay,
And
what I'm going to suggest is you meet with the chief. Chief, can do a sidebar and talk to him? And again, if you want me to be there or somebody else, let me know. We can do that. But the chief is in the back, and I'd ask you to talk to him rather than do this all out in public. I think it'd be better off for you and for your neighbors.
Yeah, 'cause something has to be done about the roaches too they got.
Please talk to the chief, and you'll see what we can do. Anybody else want to talk to the council? Okay, we'll go to the council president.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make it brief. I want to spin off on Mr. Kudrak. Yes, the band shell is a great place to watch the music on Thursdays, and not only are there Lincoln Parkers there, there's people from all over downriver that come, and you see the kids just having fun, and it's just a great time. So Thursday nights at the band shell, it's beautiful. Other than that, happy 4th of July to everybody. Be safe. Like Mayor mentioned earlier, be careful with the fireworks. There is a time limit on when to stop. So, and I believe it's 10 p.m.
I believe so.
I believe so. I won't go on record with that, but please be mindful of your fireworks. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Maureen? Oh, Tracy. You know what? It hasn't been here a while. I forgot.
No, I'm very thankful for being able to be here tonight for the city and our residents. I'm thankful for the positive activity throughout the city and thankful for the beautiful weather. Please enjoy the blessings in life. Good night and God bless.
All right.
I'm happy to see Tracy back. Welcome back, Tracy. Let's see what's going on. June 27th, Thursday, the Surf's Up Band at the band shell at 7 o'clock. Cruise weekend this weekend, the 28th and 29th, there's a car show, there's vendors, there's crafters, there's food trucks. Friday night, Category 5, which is one of the favorite bands around here, and Kevin Davis, the keyboard player, is from Lincoln Park. He brings a lot of familiar faces to the band show, so make sure you see them Friday night. Battle of the Bands Saturday, which is always a real fun event. Make sure you see that. On January 29th, the Lincoln Park Police Department is having their safety day at the McDonald's on Fort and Seacott. Make sure you go there between 1 and 3 o'clock. Happy Meals are $1.99. So make sure you take the kids out there and check the police department out, because they're really fun to watch when they're at McDonald's. Trust me. June 29th, what did I say? January. Sorry. I'm hoping that's been really hot. So, yeah. Then the other thing, well, that got canceled. There's a blood drive on August 20th at the band shell with the Lincoln Park Police Department. Mark your calendars. They need all the support they can get. So that's another thing that's coming up. And everybody have a really safe and happy 4th of July. Please be mindful of your fireworks for not only the dogs, but our veterans also. Some people are very affected by it, so please be respectful and stay safe, and let's pray we don't get weather like we had last week, because it was miserable. That's all I have, everybody. Thank you.
Julia?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll make it quick, too, because there's fireworks tonight. On June the 29th, Saturday, from 8 to 1, just a reminder that the Wayne County Household Hazardous Waste Collection will be held at the Henry Ford College in Dearborn. Again, that is from 8 to 1. Also, Saturday, the 29th, from 1 to 5, you'll find the Wayne Health Mobile Unit at the Community Center offering free health screenings. And as already mentioned, the safety day at the McDonald's, where you will find your police and fire there. And then, of course, you know, there's the cruise. So we've got a lot going on Saturday. So happy 4th of July, everyone.
Okay. Jason?
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to share a neat group that we have coming to the Lincoln Parks Farmers Market on July 7th. The Michigan State University Extension Master Gardener Division will have volunteers at our farmers market so they can share information on smart gardening in urban areas. And they are doing this in conjunction with the EPA Advocacy and Outreach Division. That division is planning on having a an instrument called an XRF instrument that will be able to take resident garden soil samples for on-the-spot analysis for a variety of constituents that the soil may or may not contain. There will be 3 employees of the EPA that day, and that would be a great time for the residents to learn about that process and see how it goes, and maybe get some data on what is in their garden soils. There are flyers available, and I was planning on reaching out to either the mayor or city manager to see about getting some of those files printed that I have in my email. I just received the email this morning. And so, yeah, that should be a pretty cool addition to our normal wares at our Lincoln Park Farmers Market, July 7th. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. And with that, they take a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre? Ross?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins?
Yes.